couch. Drinks and everything.
Stop!
Hey, wait. Hey, the fuck?
Those who approach the couch of death must answer me these questions 3. The other side, he see.
Okay. What are you?
What is your name?
Angel?
What is your question?
Peace in our times?
Who is the son of Fingolfin?
Who's the son of who?
Wrong!
Completely move the camera.
Yeah, right? Like, yeah.
Hey, how's it
Hello,
going?
everybody.
Hey, oh, hey. I didn't
Yeah.
realize you were there.
Camera's right there.
Yeah.
Yes.
How's it going, everybody?
Hopefully we got that right. I don't know.
No, we didn't.
No, probably not.
No, we
Redo.
God. Don't do a rewind
Yeah,
thing.
it's kind of funny, actually.
Alright.
Yeah, so today we're back to another movie episode, which we haven't done in forever. A long, long time.
I don't know what it... Oh my god.
Toby is trying to...
Straight up, he is just on the TV trying to figure out what the hell's going on with our menu screen there.
He's trying to catch...
Wow,
something.
I didn't think we were going to start the kitty interference so soon into the show
I
already.
didn't think so
Hey
either.
guys, we're the Drink and Drive podcasts.
Today we're
yeah.
going to do Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Yeah. And we got our Holy Grails.
That's true,
You know?
we got some Alaskan ales. I wonder if I can, yeah, you can see it a little bit. Alaskan ales. It's very good, it's very smooth.
And it's nice and cold.
And it's cold,
Yeah.
and I think we both needed that.
We need some cold drinks, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're going to do the Holy Grail.
Yeah, nice. But before we get into any of the movie stuff, I guess.
Oh, yeah. I forgot how we did this.
It's been a while, actually. Been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while.
We go into our quick catch-up. And
how quick are we trying to go here?
I think for our quick catch-up today is you can pretty much tell like anything that's like of significance, like that has happened in the past couple weeks. I would say.
I went to the Ren Fair.
Yeah.
Hey.
How was
and I
it?
dyed my hair. So
And
I think I'll leave it. I'll leave it at those two. So let's.
I thought that's what you were gonna do first.
You know what? Actually, yeah. Let me rearrange that. So yes, I dyed my hair. Purple.
Okay. Very, very nice.
Pretty nice. I liked it a lot.
It's a nice hue.
Yeah, the color came out really cool. Like better than I anticipated, to be honest.
It's actually really nice.
So yeah, shout out to my friend Amanda for doing that. So
Nice.
yeah, and yeah, I went to the Ren Fair right after, and pretty much just got a nice little walk around. Enjoyed all the normal stuff. Got to see a couple shows, and I got a cool little like D&D module.
Oh.
That's one of the performers were like selling for like $15. I was like, fuck yeah, let me get that shit.
Cool.
And it looks like a fun little like one shot. And I'm like excited to read it more. Dude clearly has a sense of humor, which
Nice.
just judging from the act I saw, Barely Balanced is the name.
Cool.
They have a small, a medium, and a large. That's their stage names.
It's pretty good.
They're very funny, actually. I enjoyed it a lot. And yeah, it was like really, really cool. And I essentially just got to walk around with my friends. And then we started to, go over to their place. They got a new place over there by the fairgrounds almost. Like 20 minutes from the fairgrounds.
Oh.
Super close, yeah. Like right on the border, essentially.
Interesting.
And then we just started playing Mario Party and just started.
I love Mario Party. It's so fun.
We played Mario Party. We had cocktails. We started smoking. It was a
Ooh.
gret time.
That sounds like a magnificent.
There
time.
was some pork loin. I'm like, holy shit! I had barbecue sauce on it. I was like, fuck yeah, let me get all that stuff on there. It was just a good day.
That sounds amazing.
It was like a little vacation.
That's like like a good stress reliever.
I really needed it too. Yeah, and
yeah, because I saw like I don't know. I think it was like one of your stories or something that you were at the Ren Fair. I was just like, oh yeah, I forgot that you were gonna go there.
Yeah.
So,
but it was just a fun time with some friends, and yeah, really nice weekend I had. Essentially, that's the recent. I'm not gonna go too far back. A little bit of D&D here. There are good times. Working on it.
Yeah. I mean, it's. So I mean, it was so far it's like our players are kind of like off and on. Where so far the past few times it's like someone's doesn't end up coming.
Yeah, life gets in the way.
Life gets in the way.
Life happens rather.
At least like both of us are like understandable because life is absolutely chaotic. So
it really is.
We get it.
Absolutely, yeah. Like I'm not gonna
Hold
be
a grudge
upset
on
or
it,
hold a
yeah.
grudge on you because like you fucking got into a car accident or whatever. Like
Yeah,
shit happens.
right.
Like
Yeah.
I don't expect anybody to just come rushing to sit there at the table for
No.
us or miss out on
But-
work or whatever.
But I remember you mentioning though that you're like it's good that people feel like
They need to.
that
though.
they want
Yeah.
to be at the
Yeah.
table. Like they feel bad.
Like they feel bad for it,
Yeah,
and that
yeah.
like this, like they're like trying to rush to get to the table, which is
Yeah.
that's a good sign, honestly.
Yeah.
That means that
and
you're
it's on
doing
both
really good.
of our ends.
I feel like it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Because like from last time, which was on your campaign, Alex was really bummed that he couldn't make it.
I know we had
he
a
was,
lot of
he was
fun.
just like, oh man.
Yeah, because we
he was
did
really upset about
we did
it.
the first session. That was a lot of fun already because I was
Yeah.
like, okay, I was starting to like get back into like the groove because it's been so
Mhm.
long since I DM'd.
Yeah.
I was starting to like feel it a little bit, and it was just like starting to become very easy with Alex because he's like really. Like, I think he really wants to enjoy the role play for this one. Like, he's really got into
Yeah.
the character, and I was just, like, starting to, like, feed off that. I'm like, okay, I can start to let loose a little bit
Mhm.
more now.
Mhm, mhm.
And, yeah, like, it was a little bit noticeable for me where I was like, oh, damn, he's not here, so now I'm not going to be able to, like, bring that same energy again.
Right,
I was like,
right.
damn, I need to learn to do it for myself now, because it's been like a year since I've been a DM.
It's been a while.
But, slowly getting back to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's essentially me and a little bit of you there.
Yeah, I'd say so. I think like to just kind of tag along to that is that I've graduated from college
He's a college graduate.
and I
guys.
got the official thing I wanted to show people, but
You
that's
can't.
what I thought.
It's a white screen.
It's right here.
something about graduating.
Yeah.
Diploma.
From Southern New Hampshire University. So I
'Cause
have
we're
I
obviously-
officially have my bachelor's degree.
Because we're
So-
obviously in New Hampshire.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Right. We just fly over just for recording.
No, we live in New Hampshire.
I'm actually really, really glad that it's over. But at the same time, it's not like anything was bad about it. It was like
No, it's just
I
more like
enjoyed
now
all
you're
my
now
classes.
you're like free to do shit.
yeah. And
That's
like
it,
for
you
like
know?
the past 2 weeks, I feel like I feel like I'm forgetting to do something because I've been having homework I've been having to work on homework for the past 2 years.
Yeah, 2 years. I feel,
Like
right?
almost,
Yeah.
I would say like almost every day. Like
Mhm.
it's constantly on my mind. And then all of a sudden it's just like, okay, you're done. And it's just like,
Yeah.
I forgot to do this. But I'm like, no, wait, all my classes are done.
I just gotta imagine
I'm
like
done.
like Tom Hanks when he was in Castaway, living on an island,
Yeah,
and just going back into reality. That's jarring.
almost.
You were literally on your own island. Like you had a Wilson.
Because
and
I'm
everything.
like, the good thing is I've been
Your hair color changed,
yeah,
because of the stress.
got all like all straggly and rough, and there was it's like,
Your beard grew
Yeah.
out,
I was looking like this, like
Yeah.
but
You started
the
to
good-
work out.
right, yeah, it's another like I would say like a minor update because I barely started working out like last week.
good.
But so far we've gotten 4 workouts, so I mean like
Oh, that's
we're at a
great.
steady pace, and
Like
there's a gym.
four out of a week.
No, well
Or
there was 2 last week and then 2 this week so far.
Okay,
So
let's
I'm
start.
like,
Yeah.
Okay, and that was a nice steady rhythm, and
Mhm.
I finally got to play basketball for the first time
Oh,
in
wow.
like, let me see, 10 years maybe. I would
Jesus
say
Christ.
like actually a basketball game because it was me and my buddy and we were just shooting hoops, right?
Nice.
Because I'm like, oh, this gym has a basketball court. It's
Yeah.
awesome, and it was pretty empty at the time when we went in, so we're like,
So you figured
let's
why
do
not
that.
try it out? Yeah.
Yeah, and so we were shooting around, and then more people came in, and they pretty much were just like, "Hey, you want to play?" And I was like, "I don't know if I really want to, because I haven't really played in a while."
I mean, when else are you gonna dust off the rust there?
right, exactly. So I'm just like, "Okay, sure, whatever." And then like half of the guys there were like, "Oh yeah," like, some of us play college basketball,
Oh.
and then some of us are like beginners. So I'm
Yeah.
just like, okay.
Varying
Then
skill levels.
So I tried it, and we played 2 games, and I scored some points,
Hey.
and I made a block.
Hey.
And I was just like, okay, I still got it a little bit.
There's still like embers of who you once were.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, so I have a little bit. And it was like the one time to the gym that I forgot to wear my hair tie.
Oh, really?
And so when I was going, up
Back
and across
forth,
the court, my hair was
just
just like, pa, pa, and I'm just like, man.
Your hair just started smacking you.
Yeah,
around.
I was just like, of course,
bitch,
the one
bitch,
time,
bitch.
you suck, you're nothing, no skill, and be like, I know.
You forgot the hair tie. Fucking idiot.
But yeah, so and then
It's
I
great
guess
though. Hell
yeah, and then I've had more time to write.
yeah.
So I finished 2 chapters of my second book
Oh, hell yeah.
so far, and it was a really big battle sequence too. So
Ooh,
yeah, and I'm still gonna go back and add like little, like small moments, but overall, it actually turned out like really well, like better.
What's the
than I
name
thought.
of this book, by the way?
Well,
that you've been
it's
working on.
it's
you know?
still in a series
It's still in a
called
series
The
called
Lands of Ordia.
Yeah. Okay.
So-
You guys check out Lands of Ordia. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's on
So
Amazon.
check out
Check it
the
out.
first book
First
called Power of Heaven. That is book 1.
Has 3
and
rocks on it.
And it
Some trees.
Yeah, some gems in a dark forest.
So,
Check it out on Amazon, please.
Image here.
Image here.
The power.
This is gonna take up the full screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still need to figure out how to put an image onto like an actual video. I know it's possible, but I need to figure it out.
Yeah, it's possible. I've seen it done a million times. I just don't know anything about it because I don't own a computer.
I'm still new to this.
Yes. You're already doing better than me, but
At least I got video to work.
hell yeah, that was the first hurdle after 2
After
years.
like a year and a half.
Year and a half, yeah.
But I think that's all like the significant stuff for me. Also, I've been uploading on Exploring Arda.
Yeah.
My Tolkien-centered podcast. Listen to that. Check it out on YouTube, especially because that's where everybody's gravitating towards. So I guess check it out there.
It's like funny how YouTube being such a massive platform,
Yeah.
a lot more people can check out.
Well, it's just
stuff.
nice that like people are actually checking it out.
Well, yeah, that's
I'm
great
like,
too.
Oh,
absolutely.
cool.
It's also really nice that it's like, oh, YouTube. Everybody has YouTube,
True.
so
True. I mean,
yeah.
this is gonna go on to YouTube, so
Here we are.
But
we made it.
we made it. Yes.
We finally got our toe in the pond.
Yeah, that's true. We
The
do-
big ass ocean we call a pond.
Mhm.
That is the internet.
I just
Oh,
realized
man.
I didn't know where I put the remote for the DVD player.
Oh, this is gonna be real silly, isn't it? You gotta get up and
It
look
is
for the
gonna-
remote.
It is gonna be kind of
You know?
silly, actually.
I'll just.
Actually, before this, so before we do anything and before I move,
Okay.
so we got our UFOs out of the way.
Yeah, we did.
We got our drinks out of the way.
We're drinking.
Alaskan items.
So, what's the next segment?
Jeez, that's a great question,
Yeah.
Jackson.
That's a great question. What is it?
So normally after our introductions and after our UFO, we also do our UFO.
You just said it. You just said it.
It was a UFO?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, after we do our...
I'm like, UFO. I'm like,
Yeah.
wait, what is it called again? It's been a minute, you guys. It's been a minute.
That's funny.
I
I was like, oh, man.
Yeah, the ultimate first origin.
There you
There
go.
it is.
UFO.
Yeah, that's the one. Remember it. Steel trap right here.
So, yes, our UFO, when we first watched the movie, and for this instance, it's going to be Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Yeah.
So, would you like to tell the audience the first time that you maybe vaguely remember it, or
Oh.
definitely remember it?
Genuinely, it might have been high school. It might have been high school because it was like a movie that they put on in one of my English classes, I want to say.
Really?
I think so, yeah.
Nice.
It was back when I was doing my alternative school.
The
my,
bad kid
yeah.
school.
Lazy kid more. I didn't turn in homework for 2 years of high school, so they sent me to another school. Long story short.
Right.
Yeah, that's probably the first time I actually like sat down and like genuinely watched the film
Okay.
for that period of time. And I think we mostly watched it. I don't think we finished it, but we were.
Oh, so you like watched most of it?
Yeah.
Kitty interference.
Kitty interference. Back again.
Hold on. Sometimes if you raise the pillow.
I just remembered a lot of memes about it, I think, is what it was. Especially in those like high school days, like memes.
I feel like a good majority of it was the she's a witch. That was a big one.
That was a big one. I think the one that started it for me was the Black Knight.
That too.
That
Black
one.
Knight's Adventure.
Yeah, the Black Knight.
Yeah.
That's
I move
yeah.
for no,
For no
man.
You make me sad.
You make me sad.
Essentially.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was probably like 17.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
17.
Okay. So it's actually a decently clear. Like you remember,
Honestly, yeah.
around the age.
Yeah. I guess that's as far back as I can recall. Yeah.
Okay, so that's your.
This is also
UFO?
a fairly older film.
There's no subtitles. Okay.
No, dude, it's from the 70s. People didn't read in the 70s.
They were all illiterate.
Oh, there were books. It's just nobody was reading them.
They were just lazy. They were too busy watching Star Wars.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, if it was the late 70s, probably. But...
Reading in the 70s. Come on, man.
Well, yeah, everybody was smoking.
Yeah.
And dying from cancer.
People were dying from cancer and smoking weed.
Yeah, everything in between.
Living the nomadic lifestyles.
Yeah.
Echoes of it still.
You know, the fun life.
The good stuff.
Okay, so that's kind of your UFO then?
Yeah.
Mine was definitely in high school.
Oh, really?
I think it was my sophomore year.
Okay.
And I just kind of like stumbled across it, I think on one of those like just the TV channels, going back to,
Oh, really?
channels again.
Oh, shit.
I don't remember what channel it was on, but
I couldn't tell you where to look for this.
yeah, that's the thing. Like, I rarely saw it after that. Like, barely ever.
Honestly, the fact that you found it on a TV channel is wild
That's
to
what
me.
I'm saying. Because then another one that I found was another Monty Python one, Life of Brian.
Yeah.
And I watched that one as well. And that was on TV too. I was just like, oh, okay, sure. Like, it's another Monty Python movie. So, but then after that, I don't think I ever saw it again on TV. So then I was like, oh, I need to get this on DVD. And that's when I did, later, like senior year or something like that. But
Makes sense.
I was like, because I remember it wasn't freshman. I remember that. So I was like,
Yeah.
I bet it was sophomore year. So,
I hear
but I was
you.
just
Yeah,
like,
I
I
feel
love this humor.
Because
This is my humor.
I don't know, something about like, especially like the times when we were in high school. I feel like a lot of things were like starting to like bleed in, like come back a bit more.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Yeah, like the culture started to be like, oh, retro is actually really, really cool.
Right.
Now. Like,
right.
yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, especially like modern day. I mean, like vinyl records are like,
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
the thing to have.
That
And
was always
even,
like a thing.
Even cassettes are making a comeback.
Well, that's wild.
Yeah. Like,
But I feel like that's probably because of what? Guardians of the Galaxy.
I don't
Because
know.
they had tapes.
It depends.
I feel like that was a big one for. I don't know. I'm just saying here.
It
like,
might be because
personally.
like for me, I listen to a lot of death metal, right?
Yeah.
And so a lot of the bands, maybe like 5 years ish ago, they started re-releasing stuff on cassettes, and so that's where I personally saw it first, with all the death metal stuff, and then obviously Guardians made it, like, oh hey, the Walkman's still a thing, guys. Like,
Yeah. Remember the Walkman?
remember that?
Some
But,
of you are
like,
too young to remember, but your parents are gonna remember.
like, just ask your parents. They'll know.
They'll know.
Yeah, that's probably one too. Anything
that
with
might
like
have been a big one.
pop culture stuff.
Yeah. Because again, like I was saying, like a lot of that time was a lot of just retro, just becoming much more popularized.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a nice vibe too. I mean, you go back to like the '80s movies, and it's awesome. A lot of them are.
Well, yeah,
amazing.
and I'm just like, it's so crazy to me to think like, given like what 10 or so years ago, it was kind of like, it was there. It was like still somewhat niche, but like you started to notice like it was becoming a little bit more prevalent and growing a bit more. Like it didn't really get to the levels it is now, where people just fucking eat that shit up like fucking cotton candy.
We're repeating the past.
Yeah.
Please let's not go any further past. That would be bad. So let's stop. Let's stop at the
like
cassettes.
Oppenheimer is.
That's
in
good.
theaters.
That's good. Yeah, that's in theaters.
It's gonna be a.
I mean, that one looks pretty decent though. Like, as a film, I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
With Joaquin Phoenix and who's
Oppenheimer?
The other? Huh?
Oppenheimer? With Joaquin Phoenix?
No. What was he in? What was
He was
he
in
in?
Napoleon.
Napoleon.
In the trailer for Napoleon.
Dang it!
I was like,
I'm mixing up the movies.
yeah.
No, was it? I know that Christopher Nolan directed Oppenheimer.
Yeah, that's with Cillian Murphy.
That's who it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it,
It's a scarecrow.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember.
It's
That's probably why.
Yeah, that's probably why.
Because they mix up the Joker with the Scarecrow.
He was also in 28 Days.
Oh, I still need to watch that.
That's a good one. I like it.
But anyway. So, are UFOs done?
I think so.
I think so too. And there's really not much of a summary for the beginning of Monty Python.
No,
the Holy Grail, because it's really weird with the subtitle, or not the subtitles, subtitles.
Take a guess what's happening right now on the screen with the flashing light. Like if you can vaguely see it.
Vaguely, maybe.
If you can vaguely see the flash, just take a guess.
If
you've seen the movie,
Monty Python,
take a guess. That's where we're at right now. That's the beginning of the movie. Is them fucking up the fucking movie reel.
Yeah,
so yeah,
for like 5 minutes straight.
Straight up, this is the movie for
That's basically Monty Python humor.
It's very fourth wall breaky.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Very obscure humor. I feel like.
Oh yeah.
And like, I don't know. You either like really enjoy this movie or you just
don't get it.
Yeah. And
I generally feel like nowadays people appreciate it a little bit more.
I think so.
At the very least. At least a lot more than they used to.
It depends on the person, I feel like. Like, the first time I watched this, I'm like, yes, this is amazing.
I mean, I was kind of getting it, like, at 17, I was just like, oh, okay, I see what they're doing. It's, like, very, like, you know, it's corny, but, like, it's fun. Like, it's fun. I don't need to take anything here seriously, because they're not taking it seriously. So I'm like, all right, I can get behind it.
No.
Yeah. It's very easy for me to enjoy stuff like that when I'm literally just meant to not be serious about it and just laugh.
Mm-hmm.
I guess you noticed.
It is.
I love to laugh.
Ha.
Aha.
Aha.
That was one free one just for you guys.
Free laugh, just for you. Yeah, this one's very much like one of those movies where you just want to sit down, have a good time, enjoy it, don't stress over anything.
Yeah, it's really like a comfort movie, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
I feel.
Yeah, and I showed my wife this movie, like, I think for the first time this year, because, I mean,
that's crazy.
She's not really into these kind of movies. And then, of course,
then
she started dating me, and she was like, you have this kind of humor? And like, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You just over there giving up.
Yes, I do.
And you cannot escape now.
So, what is your name? What is your quest?
Yeah.
Which I actually ended up putting into my campaign as a little brief moment. If you remember that.
I know. As soon as I saw you just get into like the little, I'm like, this motherfucker. Yeah. All right, here we go.
Yep, old man, scratchy voice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, it was a perfect little moment in there, I feel like.
Yeah. Didn't he just like give us some shit and then it just
for
disappeared?
Like a trade,
yeah.
And then he just disappears.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. That's what he does in the movie, but before the bridge scene.
Yeah.
He just disappears.
Some creepy little dude.
Yeah. But yeah, so then I showed her the movie for the first time this year, and she was just like, okay, I understand why you enjoy this movie. And she actually, one of the main things that she quotes is "Run away."
Yeah, it's a fun one.
Which is from this movie. So.
Well, that's the thing too. This movie has a lot of just memes. You can.
Yeah.
It's a lot of quotable things.
I was gonna say a lot of quotes. Yeah,
you know, I feel like it's along the same vein as like The Mask for me. There's a lot
for you,
There's a lot of things in The Mask that
this one,
really tickle my pickle, if you know what I mean.
Ooh. Yeah, it's pretty much like Ace Ventura for me. I can quote anything from that movie.
Yeah. Jim Carrey. Yeah.
So, now that we got that all settled, well, okay, now we can go into our summary. Because that was kind of like an extended UFO.
Yes, we meet the King of Camelot.
Yes. So,
Arthur.
Do you want to give the summary?
And he's talking to a guy in a wall. We think he's French.
Why else do I have this
ridiculous accent?
Yeah. You.
God. Yeah. He's just. It's just a back and forth. Guys like, hey, I'm trying to recruit some people to join my kingdom and trying to find the Holy Grail. You want in?
Bring out your dad.
Literally, dude's like, no, get off my lawn, you loser.
At first, he was just like, what was it? Like, yeah, you're not riding a horse, you're just banging a couple coconuts.
Oh yeah,
together.
there was the whole question about like, how did you get coconuts here? He's like, I don't know, a bird maybe dropped it.
Yeah,
he's like, a bird? What kind of bird dropped a coconut?
What was it? A
sparrow.
A sparrow. There we go.
Sparrow.
Yeah. It's like a sparrow could grip it by the husk. A sparrow? You can't lift a coconut with a sparrow. Or it could be an African sparrow. Oh no, swallow.
Swallow?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, something like that.
And then he's just like,
there's a bird.
And then the second guy comes in, he's like, oh yeah, you're right, probably that. And it's like, but this is a European swallow. Oh yeah, you're right. It can't water
Can't have
that
been a
much.
while, yeah.
And it was like a whole like 5 minutes.
Also, why a fucking African swallow would
migrate all the way to Europe?
to Europe holding a coconut?
That was their whole point too. It's like, oh, European swallows can't do that. Or,
It has these moments of like, okay, let me just ask you how stupid this thing you told me was.
Yeah.
So let's just break it down real quick. You're saying that a whole ass bird from Africa is gonna carry this coconut that probably weighs as much, if not more, than it.
Just to give it to you, so that you can bang it together like a horse.
I do appreciate that. I do appreciate that.
And then they just leave.
Because I feel like there is a lot of humor to be found when you like actually try to like break down somebody's joke when it clearly just is like, I understand you're trying to not make sense, but it really doesn't make sense.
No. And then like at the point we're at now, like King Arthur, he leaves the castle and he's like, whatever. He goes to the next village, and this village is the poorest of the poor. Everybody's walking in mud and dirt, and they're having the whole guy with the cart of the dead bodies going, "Bring out your dead! Bring out your dead!"
Yeah, and then there's a guy's trying to
I'm
literally,
not dead.
literally trying to put his
anybody.
like, I don't know, grandfather or something.
Like
it's an old guy,
Yeah.
and he's just like, yeah, man, come on, like I don't want to hold on to this guy for like another week.
Yeah.
Like, could you do me a solid and just like take him off me?
Yeah.
It's like I really shouldn't be doing that. Like I don't know. He's like, here, like I'll give you like I don't know, he gave him like money or something.
Yeah, some money. And
He gave him
just
some money. He's like,
he's
all right, fine. King.
Boom. Yeah.
Guy's just like, oh, all right.
Bring out your dead!
All right, back to work.
Yeah.
Just getting rid of the dead man.
Yeah. So basically, like Arthur's going throughout all the small towns trying to like
All
find
of England.
pretty much, yeah, in the good old medieval days, and trying to recruit people for the round table to find
The Holy Grail.
So yeah, it's kind of how we start the movie. So,
We start off with a quest. We're trying to find people to join it.
yeah. So far, it's just him and his horse.
Horse.
Because he doesn't.
Porter. Guy holding your shit with coconuts.
Yeah, pretty much. And then it's funny because Arthur just kind of like rides with like invisible.
He does a little gallop.
Yeah, it's
know?
funny. I love it. I love this movie so much. So now that we got our summary all caught up, we shall go to our fantastic facts and where to find them. That was the space. Thank you. All right.
Space.
The Final Frontier. That was the last episode of Star Trek.
That was.
Yeah, it was. I uploaded it
We
a
went
little bit late. I'm
We
sorry,
went to
guys.
space and then came back.
Yeah, because we didn't like how they decorated the scenery. Because it was very basic.
It was just a green screen.
It was just a green
And
screen.
then the
It
scenery
wasn't even a green screen.
didn't even match in the next scene.
Mm-mm.
The following next cut.
I
The
remember
same
that.
conversation.
I think wasn't that like Spock or something? It was like a different.
Spock
Like,
was like playing an instrument or something. It was like green behind him, and then it was
And
just
then it
like
was
the rest of the ship.
it was just like,
And I was
huh?
like, all right.
Hey, you gotta love OG Star Trek for that.
I feel like, see, that makes sense in anime because anime is not supposed to make sense like that.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to make that work
Well,
when this is a very serious,
serious.
show,
Yeah.
quote
right.
unquote, space traveling show.
Sorry, Star Trek. We had to.
Anyway,
So some facts from IMDb. So, first one here is the bands of Led Zeppelin,
Oh.
Pink Floyd,
Oh.
and Genesis all contributed to this movie's budget.
wow,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Okay,
That's what I'm saying.
what a random.
Right. I know.
All right,
Like, sure. I mean, this is like mid 70s, so I mean, they're still like pretty
yeah,
popular.
oh yeah.
So I mean, maybe that's why this movie became so popular. Is because I mean, the bands were supporting the movie, and I guess
I think it
I don't know.
helped.
it helped maybe a little bit.
It probably helped.
I was just very surprised.
I'm not even gonna try to get into like the understanding
actually-
the chain of events.
Actually, like I could understand Led Zeppelin because they have songs dedicated to Tolkien and Lord of the Rings. So I'm
Okay.
like, okay, well, I get the fantasy aspect of it. Pink Floyd, however, I'm like, I don't know. I wouldn't see Pink Floyd being like involved in a medieval comedy. Is this a comedy?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, I thought so.
What do you mean? Is this a comedy with all?
'Cause
It's absolutely a comedy.
It's
yeah.
not really like.
It's a parody
It's
of.
kind of adventure.
It's a parody of just the whole story of King Arthur.
Of King Arthur and the Round Table.
Yeah.
Knights of the Round Table.
We'll get to that. Hold on, we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Oh yeah. Another fact here is also about Pink Floyd. So funds earned by Pink Floyd's album The Dark Side of the Moon, kind of the one that everybody knows, some of it actually went towards funding the movie.
Oh wow, that's really cool.
The band, they were such fans of the show.
That's what I figured it had to have been that. Yeah.
They actually halted recording sessions just to watch The Flying Circus in 1969, also by Monty Python. So they loved this.
So they're just fans
creator.
of Monty Python. And,
yeah. They're like, okay, we're going to stop recording our music because we want to watch this.
I get it. Sometimes you just need that shit to just turn off brain and laugh, man. I get it.
Sometimes that's kind of what you need.
Absolutely. I mean, that's literally what we're doing right now anyway. Yeah.
So, interesting. So I guess that's at least Led Zeppelin and Pink Floyd, like their contribution and fascination. Mm-hmm. Or they were just really
they're
good
fans. Yeah.
Another fact here is that during one of the first screenings of the movie in front of a live audience, the co-writer and co-director Terry Jones noticed that when music was played during the jokes, there was a marked reduction of laughter from the audience. So he went back and edited the music out whenever a punchline was delivered.
Well, yeah, because you want to focus on the punchline, not everything that's going around.
But it was just like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's like some like because you gotta imagine like if you're ever like at a comedy show and somebody's doing like a stand-up gig, and they're playing music while the dude's trying to like do his whole routine. It's a little distracting, you know. Yeah. Like unless he finds like some creative way to make it work, it's just one of those things where it's like, it's more like you want to use that like in the background to where he's not talking.
Right. Obviously. Right. You know? Like you could probably use like the music when you see like King Arthur and his steed. Absolutely. Galloping. Yeah. Then use the music because it's funny because it works.
It's like trying to talk to somebody while you're in a room with loud music.
It's like so it's just like what? I didn't hear the joke.
Yeah, man, you're like at a fucking party and music's bumping. It's hard to it's hard to hear anybody.
But I was just like, that makes sense for me. Mm-hmm. Speaking of the whole galloping thing with the coconuts. Is the famous depiction of the galloping horses by using coconut shells actually came about from the practical reason that the production just couldn't afford real horses.
No, absolutely. Yeah, no. As soon as they established what this film was going to be, with the first 5 minutes of the movie before the movie even starts properly, and then as soon as I see King Arthur, the King of England, galloping around with a guy holding coconuts, it's like this is going to be the whole movie.
So
all right.
This is the movie. This
is what we're in for. Okay.
This is the vibe. Okay. I love
it just gets more and more ridiculous.
Yeah. Another fact is that when this movie screened at the Cannes film, I don't know. Well, how would you pronounce that? Cannes or Cannes?
I'll say Cannes.
I'll say Cannes because it has two N's. So Cannes. Film Festival.
Cannes.
Anyway, so I'll say the Cannes Film Festival. Yes, we can. So during the screening of this one, the audience laughed at the opening credits, actually. However, in addition to this, the projectors stopped, and the audience roared with laughter, thinking it was all part of the movie.
Is that why they made it into the movie? Like, they just like, let's just give everybody this.
But it goes on.
Oh, really?
It turned out there was a bomb scare, and firemen came in and made everybody go outside.
What the fuck?
It's insane. I'm like, I did not expect
it's
that.
It's oddly the most
all.
Monty Python way of watching the movie. It just fits. It works for them.
For this movie, I'm like,
it works for them once it becomes real. Because now it's like you're in the movie.
It's just like, oh, this is real. Oh my goodness. Oh, there he is with the, Sparrow with the coconut.
Yeah. Swallow.
Oh my goodness. Ever since you said Sparrow, now I think it's a Sparrow. Now.
Oh yeah, just blame the Mexican.
Sure. So, another fact here is that some believe the enchanter's name is Tim. because the actor John Cleese forgot the character's original name and ad-libbed it. But he said that there was actually no improvisation at all, and that's how he delivered it. Because it kind of seems like he's like, hey, my name is... no, there are some who call me Tim. It does seem like he forgot it a little bit. But...
Honestly, if you would have just told me, like, oh, yeah, he didn't remember the name of it, I was like, oh, yeah, that works. That makes sense. Yeah, I totally believe it. You could have told me either or, and I would have completely believed it. Cause,
It's believable.
Oh, yeah.
Another thing about John Cleese as Tim the Enchanter, so he actually stood on the pinnacle scene at the beginning of the scene, like when he's actually there. On one side was a drop that he said that probably could have killed him if he fell down, and on the other side was a drop that he said could have maimed him. So to make matters worse, the wind kept threatening to push him on either side. So between takes, he would actually have to crouch down to avoid being pushed over by the wind. So the whole experience was something he remembers being so frightening. But he did it anyway because he knew what kind of budget they had to work with.
Like, look, some of us might actually die.
But it's a sacrifice I'm willing to take. It's a cool Shrek.
You can imagine the fucking
Some of you may die.
The director talking to like everybody.
Yeah. I'm like, that's terrifying, but
like,
man,
you know what's crazy is I absolutely knew what I was signing up for, and
that is commitment, though.
I mean, honestly,
oh my goodness, he's like, there's certain death on both sides, pretty much.
This is a commitment to comedy that's, unparalleled, really.
Honestly, yeah.
I mean, I don't know too much about like other comedians and stuff, so unless I hear about like another comedian telling me like, yeah, I was trying to deliver a joke and nearly died over it.
I like it. I like how he's just like, pew, pew, and he's like, explosion.
Yeah.
And he doesn't really seem phased when it's like the camera's on him, so I'm like he's...
Well, that's acting.
I was gonna say, he's actually like serious about it. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, insane. So, another one here before we go back into another summary, because we got a lot of summary to cover.
Oh, Jesus, yeah.
In the killer rabbit scene, an actual real white rabbit was used.
Mm-hmm.
He was actually dyed with what was assumed to be a washable red coloring liquid, but when the filming was over, the rabbit's owner was dismayed to learn that the dye couldn't be rinsed off.
That's wild. So now he just has this really creepy looking... Oh,
yeah.
My God. Low budget film, baby.
Low budget, yep. I absolutely love these facts because it just adds so much more to this film.
Wow.
So, with that fact being all said and done, would you like to do another summary of the movie?
Oh, you want me to do summary?
I did all the facts right now.
I was along for the ride.
Okay, fine.
So, where do we leave off?
So King Arthur was going recruiting throughout all the villages. And then now we come across another small town with a supposed smart guy in the town because they're like, he's a witch!
The Black Knight.
Oh yeah, that too.
The Black Knight happened. So, yeah.
So, tell us about it.
Yeah, so King Arthur's going through the woods with his horse. Horse. Sees two knights fighting each other over a tiny little, like Men in Tights bridge, you know?
Yeah.
Like, they didn't really need to cross it, but two knights were fighting. The Black Knight straight up kills him, like the other knight. Straight up, like, he just chucks his sword at this guy's head. Yeah.
And I also have this.
Yes, of course he does. Of course he does.
None shall pass.
Straight up saying, like, nobody can pass this bridge that anybody can go around.
Yep.
Yeah, straight up throws his... Oh, there we go.
There we go. Now he wants to be on camera.
Here
hello, Toby. Say hello, Toby.
The Tobito.
Nope. Okay, fine. All right.
But...
He
I mean,
goes,
yeah,
no
Black Knight... Do you want to tell it?
No.
It kind of seems like you want to
no,
tell it.
Go ahead. You do the quotes.
Okay. Well, he straight up throws his sword at this Green Knight and just kills him. Like, he just straight up kills him, like, through the head. And
it was brutal.
It was actually a very brutal
death. He like throws it and just goes.
It just goes straight through the fucking visor.
Like, ooh, wow.
Yeah. not a way I would want to die.
No.
Or would wish anybody to die, really.
He has to like take like a foot and just go.
And just like go pulling it out. Like,
and then
oh,
he just
Jesus.
stands there like this.
And he's just back into like guard on the bridge. So King Arthur's like, all right, we want this guy to join us. And
Naturally.
the dude's just like,
Silent.
and King
Would
Arthur's
you like
like,
to join me for my quest for Camelot? And he just stands there and just goes, "You make me sad."
he's like, none shall pass.
Yeah, there you go.
He's
He
like,
goes,
but
"What? None
shall
shall
pass."
pass.
Straight up has to fight this guy just so he could cross the bridge when
He could easily
just go around. But no.
I move.
It's not.
For no
It's not about the bridge. It's the principle. Of
The
the thing.
principle. See, now we need to watch Robin Hood, Men in Tights.
And it's the.
If we don't get no rolls, we don't get
Yeah.
no. Yeah, if
Yeah.
we don't get no rolls, we don't get no tights.
It's literally that, right? Before Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Yeah.
Fight ensues.
Mhm.
And it looks like King Arthur's having a little bit of a hard time because this dude's literally just like a crazy man with a sword. Just and ends up losing an arm. And King Arthur's like, all right, cool, I won.
Yeah.
Dude's like, no, you didn't.
just like kicking him.
So it just starts losing another limb. He's like, I'll still keep on fighting you. Like
Just a
this
flesh
guy
wound.
just doesn't give up ever. He never gives up. He's invincible.
I'm invincible.
Honestly,
The Black Knight's
once you
invincible.
get down to a torso and you're still trying to come at me with smoke, I don't know, man. I feel like I need to start being like making sure you're absolutely dead because like if
No.
I need to make sure you are absolutely dead because I do not need you to like worm your way into
Yeah.
my life when I'm like asleep in my bed.
I mean, not only that, it's like arms gone,
Legs
legs
gone.
gone. And he's like, "Come back, I'll bite your legs off." And it's just like, I should probably just kill this guy at this point.
Like honestly, like if this guy's not dying from like just completely losing all his limbs,
Right.
we just need to put
No,
an end to
like,
that, man. Like
He's
I
gonna bleed
don't
out
need that.
in minutes.
He should have bled out once he lost an arm.
That's true. As
That's
well.
the thing.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Minutes just gone.
But yeah, so like I just don't need that in the back of my head personally. But
Right,
anyway,
right.
now you can get onto your part. Since
Oh well, you
you're
still
so
have
eager.
more.
Oh yeah, well since you were so eager to like
The
tell
whole-
the whole thing that I was like doing, so I was like, all right, well, what happened next, Jackson?
It was the whole witch scene.
The witch scene.
You're the witch. The whole thing is, I guess, King Arthur comes to this town, and at the present moment when he arrives, they're trying to deal with a supposed witch because she looks like one.
Yeah, she's got a nose, a hat, wart.
She does got a wart. like, how do you know she's a witch? And this is like, well, she looks like one.
She looks like one.
And this is like,
with
do
a
you
with a
know?
nose that's
Yeah.
like a radish,
yeah, it's like
some
like,
sort of root
with a
vegetable.
string around it.
Yeah, literally tied to her
Yeah.
face to make it look like a fucking
He's
witch
like-
nose.
He's like, did you do this? And he's like no.
Well,
A bit. We did do
we
the
did do the
nose.
nose. Like,
and the hat.
and the hat.
But
But she
she's
has
got
a
a
wart.
wart. And he's like, oh,
Yeah.
there are ways to telling if there's a witch. And I'm like, oh, there are? What? Tell us. And it's just like, okay, well, tell me, what do witches do? They burn. And it's
They
just like,
burn.
okay, what
They
else
burn.
burns?
Burn
And it's
the
just like, oh, I don't know.
Wood.
Tell me, what floats in water? Very small rocks.
Very
And it's-
small.
rocks and fruit. And like, oh, no. And then
King
King Arthur comes along. A duck. Exactly. And
I know for the longest time I always said precisely.
Precisely.
that
that was pretty funny, actually.
was actually a funny time.
Precisely. No, exactly. And they're like, so, if she weighs the same as a duck, then she's a witch. And then,
We'll use my larger scales. Yeah.
and then actually it turns out that she actually does weigh less than a duck.
But less than a duck. She's like, well, you can't beat them now. Like,
Yeah,
besides
she's
there.
like, all right.
Genuinely proved that I was, in fact, a witch.
Yeah. And then he actually ends up,
Being recruited.
yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much that. Because he's a man of science.
This is
Yeah.
well,
Yeah, right?
look, man. Dude proved she was a witch.
It's a witch doctor. But then they go on and they
He
actually
proved it.
He
proved it.
proved it. Yeah,
It was
yeah.
scientific.
That's why people look to him for leadership.
There was a theory. He followed up on a test.
And he was correct.
Factually correct. Like
it was insane.
That's the scientific method, just right before us.
Witch hunting, medieval style.
You know?
So, yeah, and then he goes on, and then they actually introduce all the other members of the round table. The round table, because they're like, we can't fit all this into one movie. So
we're just going to tell you, so here's everybody else.
And then they're like, oh, we made it to Camelot. Camelot. It's only a model. Shh, don't tell him that. And then they do the whole musical, we're not to the round table. And that was a big...
It was a big musical number.
Yeah.
Which,
I like to push the
Camelot. So, as the nights pass by Camelot, King Arthur's like, yeah, we're not going to go in there. It's like stupid.
Never mind. Camelot's a silly place.
It's a very silly place. Let's go.
So then they just pretty much get a message from God Almighty.
God himself.
And he's just like,
God, a white man in a crown.
Oh, stop groveling. I hate when you grovel. It's just like, I'm sorry, Lord. And stop apologizing. It's sorry this and it's sorry that. It's just like, okay, I have a mission for you guys. And they're like, stop averting your eyes. It's all these like...
Just doesn't know where to look. Like,
I'm sorry, Lord. It's like, you must find the Holy Grail, King Arthur, and your worthy companions. And
I guess this is when they actually get the quest for the Holy Grail. Huh?
Yeah. And then they start going to castles.
It only just starts then, yeah.
That's when it officially starts. In the middle of the film.
Yeah.
And
now we can actually start the real story of this movie.
Yeah.
Everything else has been everything was just prologue.
It's just like background story.
Yep.
But yeah, pretty much that. And then we're at the point where they're at another castle, the French castle.
In England.
In England.
The English French castle.
Yeah, right. And they...
the French English castle?
I don't know, because the French took over the castle, so... They'd probably put French English. Nah, they'd probably just put French.
Look, don't think about it too much.
No, don't. It's
a Monty Python. Like, yeah.
And then the French guard starts like taunting them and stuff like that. Your mother was a hamster, and your father smelled of elderberries.
Yeah. I just remember.
I fought in your general direction.
Yeah. You English niggets.
I love it.
Yeah, I just remember that whole mother was a hamster, father was a smell of elderberries. Yeah. That was a thing one of my other teachers also said. In that same year, when I watched. I think it was like in the following weeks before I started watching the movie.
That makes sense.
So I was just like, I know that from somewhere. That was a meme.
It was just a prelude to.
It was a prelude to the
show
movie. Yeah, and I was like, oh wow. Now I can actually like laugh at the joke.
And I was like, I saw
with
that.
absolute certainty. I'm like, yes, you were really funny.
I love it so much.
Yeah.
That was funny. All right, so good catch up, good summary. I like that.
Oh no, we already did the quick catch up. That was at the start of the.
I know. It was
show.
Okay, anyway. So it was a good summary. How about that?
Yeah.
All right, it's a good summary. With full of quotes and good times, I feel like. So we're going to go back to some facts because there's still a few more.
A whole lot, apparently.
Yeah, there actually is a lot. So, all right, so the actor for King Arthur, Graham Chapman, or Graham Chapman. Just kidding, it's Graham.
Holy Graham.
Yeah.
Like Insta.
Yeah, exactly. So he was the only member of the cast to wear actual chainmail armor. It weighed about 25 pounds.
Yeah, well, real armor.
Yeah, real armor. The rest of the cast wore knitted wool painted to look like metal. And the weather conditions in Scotland...
they filmed all this in Scotland?
Scotland and England, but I feel like it's mostly Scotland. Being as they normally are, the actors spent most of the shooting days being very cold and wet. Which makes sense.
Low budget.
Hell yeah. To make matters worse, the hotel that they were staying at only had a limited number of baths and hot water. So at the end of each shooting, there was a dash to see who could get back to the hotel first.
Oh, God.
That's low budget for you.
Yeah.
It's like if we wanted to try to make a movie.
Oh,
That's
no.
what it would be like.
That's giving us way too much credit.
Actually, yeah,
That's
probably.
giving us way too much credit.
We would probably be the only actors.
We would be spending $20 on like Amazon things that we could find,
Yeah.
and then like have a camera and just.
We can't even get this
We
show
would
up and
we would
running.
we would literally just be doing like the whole like first person, like somebody's gonna be recording and then we just hand over the camera so we could get the other.
Like, okay, take this.
Take this. Okay, we're just gonna cut it like.
Okay, and
so,
then shoot.
okay, so remember, like you did the line, so like literally just like
Keep it still. Keep it still.
reacts to the line, so like respond.
Oh, so funny. So
But
funny.
yeah.
So there were two performers of the duel between the Black and the Green Knight.
Yeah.
So apparently, Black Green Knight.
I said that, yeah.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, I missed it.
Well, you did.
Well, so they actually they both had to learn to manage the big and heavy swords and to
So those
do
swords
some.
were real.
Those were. Mm-hmm. And
well, this is why they have a low budget. They put all the money into the wrong things.
That's true. That's true. And they had to do some acrobatics, though never being recognizable because they were wearing heavy armor and full helmets.
Mhm.
And they avoided the use of stuntmen. There you go. Because, as they said in commentaries, they had a lot of fun enacting the duel.
Well, yeah. Like, look, if I'm gonna be doing all this shit
That
in like
would
this
be
terrible
fun.
weather and I have to run to the fucking
The hotel at the
shower
end of
so
the
I can
day,
get some
yeah.
hot water, I'm gonna do the fight. Like, I need to let off some steam. So
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like,
Plus, that would be fun.
yes,
That would be
Absolutely.
absolutely amazing.
dude, I'd fight you right now with like a wooden sword.
I
I would grab a
I
stick.
I
will grab a stick out from the yard here, and I would just swing it at you.
I would block it and parry it with
Yeah.
another stick.
I'm sure you would. I'm sure you would try.
I would. I would try, actually.
I think you would run away.
Run away.
And I would just say, okay.
Ah,
You know cardio isn't my thing, asshole. Get over here.
I know your weakness.
It's running.
I'll pull out like the little the bow and arrow, but like the little sticky ones.
Oh, those things.
Like
Dollar store bow and
yeah,
arrow.
the dollar store one, yeah.
See, that's our fun.
That's our fun, yeah.
That's our Lord of the Rings remake.
Okay, so the Black Knight was first played by John Cleese, but when Arthur cuts off the first leg, a real one-legged actor
That's crazy.
was used.
Wow.
Yeah, right?
Props to that guy. 'Cause
That is actually amazing.
not only was I wondering, like, damn, how did they make this shit look real?
Like,
no, they got
It
a
was-
guy.
some guy who actually had a prosthetic leg and just goes, all right, let's go to the movie. I love that so much. I don't know, like those little things are,
That's
are
fucking
so
incredible.
cool.
Oh yeah.
Also, the Monty Python crew generally considered this movie to be one of their own lesser favorites, despite
Really?
its popularity.
Oh,
Yeah.
they didn't really like it, huh?
John Cleese often says that they think Life of Brian is actually their best work. So,
Mm,
but it also has to do with their bad memories of filming the movie.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah. I was
you
like,
know-
okay, sure, yeah.
You know, I get it too, because like if I was in a movie that I was like, that sucked. Like that whole thing kind of just sucked. Like there was a good time, but overall sucked.
And I'll do one last fact here. So,
The last fact.
The last
Oh my God. Drum roll.
it's gonna be the running meme.
Dun, 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 dun,
Ah!
dun.
Arthur's army at the end of the movie
Yeah.
was actually made of 175 students from Scotland's University of Stirling. So according to a casting call sent to the school by the production, each student was paid £2 sterling and got free transportation, food, and, quote-unquote, an abundance of crazy antics for a single day's work.
Hell yeah. That's exactly what some of these students need. Bro, if when I was going to like college, when I was like going to school and shit, and they told me like I just had to run around,
Being all crazy, like,
yeah, literally just like, yes, I need to let off this steam
some steam,
because I have financial aid, but
'Cause
goddamn,
studies.
it's school expensive and stressful, and I need to do something.
Mm-hmm. So I'm like, okay, that makes
You know,
total
if
sense.
I'm gonna
of
be
why they did
here,
that.
I need to do something that's gonna take my mind off of being here.
Yeah,
Essentially.
Yeah.
You know.
But yeah, so that is the last fact.
Sometimes that just means going to a nunnery with a lot of women between the ages of like 18 and 23.
Oh, you mean like where we're at in the movie right now?
Where we're at in the movie right now, yes.
Would you like to give a summary?
Yes, absolutely.
I'll get you. You want another Alaska name?
I'll have a water, actually.
A water?
Yeah, I need some hydration.
Hydration is important.
Yeah, it is, actually. I was drinking not nearly enough water today. God. So, yeah, everything happened in the movie where essentially we're just like seeing the knights go off on their own little like quests and stuff. We see the tale of Sir Robin, who, bravely goes towards danger and then bravely runs away.
Bravely runs away.
Literally sees a 3-headed knight.
Yep.
Just guarding some area, and he's like,
and you might see some familiar faces in that 3-headed giant.
Yeah, literally other people that are also
It reminds me of the budget of a Harry Potter musical, where they just use the same actors but for different characters.
Exactly.
I'm like, that gives the vibes.
Again, low budget.
Low budget.
Everybody was like 5 different characters.
It's
okay?
absolutely amazing.
So. Yeah.
Anyway.
Sir Robin's like, yeah, no, I'm not about to deal with that. So how about I just go? I'll just go.
Right.
And so his entourage, his band, starts singing about his adventures, which
he
is him
running away.
Him running away. He's like, I'm not running away.
I didn't do that.
It's not true.
Yeah. It's
Straight
true.
up.
It's true.
It's true. And then we see Sir Galahad, who's looking for the Holy Grail.
Yep.
Thinks he sees a vision of it.
Sir Galahad, the innocent.
The innocent. And goes to like a nunnery. Some place with a lot of women. Young women.
It's an enormous castle, and it's only women and girls.
Only women. Young women. Beautiful women. And he's just like, well, I'm chaste, so...
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, "Oh no, come on! Like, let's
he sees
you've gone through like so much. You've traveled a lot. You need a place to stay.
Well,
we can give you a bed. We'll give you like a bath. Do the whole thing, you know."
Well, he thinks he sees the Grail.
Yeah.
On top of the castle.
Turns out that it's just like a lamplight.
Oh, I forgot our lamp was
our
Grail shaped.
Our Grail shaped lamplight, like. Of course it is.
Of course it is.
Because he literally sees like an image of a grill in the sky, and he's just like, "Oh my god,
yeah.
I found it."
Yes.
Yeah. If I was in medieval Europe looking for a grill and I saw that shit up a castle in the sky,
yeah,
I'd be like, "Yes."
You would think that.
That's where I need to go.
Yeah.
And then if I saw all these women trying to come up on me, I'd be like, "Yes, this is where I need to be."
Eventually that's what Galahad thinks too. Is like at first he was hesitant, and then he's just like, maybe I'll stay.
Maybe I'll just say like, "Oh no." And then Lancelot comes in, he's like, no, this is way too perilous for you."
It's
he's
too
like,
perilous.
I mean, I think I can handle a little peril. Like, no, it's too perilous.
There it is.
Not even what's a little peril? Like, I can do a little peril. He's like, no, it's far too perilous.
It's far too perilous. I forgot about that one. Yeah.
I know, man. Lancelot just being. Sometimes your bros are being too much of a good bro, and sometimes you just gotta let your bro make some mistakes. Maybe a couple mistakes
Maybe
happen,
in one night.
In one night.
That's what he was about to do.
A couple mistakes.
And this is actually like the I think it's like the first part where the whole scene of "Get on with it."
Oh yeah.
It
again,
actually appears.
Again, breaking the fourth wall. Yeah.
Like right now, it's happening.
Yeah, straight up.
Like, oh come on, like.
Let's move on to the next bit. Come on, we want to get to the good stuff.
Get on with it.
Get on with it.
Get on with it.
Yeah, there's all the students.
All the students, yeah.
Yeah, so pretty
even
much.
God himself is like, come on.
Come on. Yeah.
Get him in the room.
Yeah. So then eventually, well, actually from now on, I think it's like the summary of the rest of the movie.
Yeah, essentially.
I would say so. So I think like after this, I know that
they find the tomb of...
yeah, I was going to say, they gathered together. Because they're like, oh, now we need to look for it, Actually, they go into a cave where they get chased by... Or no, yeah, at first they go into the cave. But before that, they meet Tim. Oh, yeah, that too. Actually, that was kind of funny, too. Oh, yeah. I'm getting ahead of myself.
You are.
Yeah.
That's why I was like...
So it's Sir... which one was it? I know.
Lancelot?
Yeah, there we go. So he gets a...
Can you tell I'm a fucking Arthurian nerd? A little bit? A little bit? Just a little bit of one.
I think so.
You know? Just a little bit.
Oh, you want me to get a book that I have that is all about Arthur? That I have in my room?
Bold of you to assume that I haven't already read it.
Should I go get
But
it?
sure.
Here, hold my beer.
I will hold the... Oh, wow.
I did it. So, catch us up with the summary.
So essentially, we see also the tale of Sir Lancelot, who's like literally gets a note saying that there's some sort of person that's stuck in a tower trying to escape, and they're being held against their will. So he's trying to do the noble thing, you know, save the damsel from the tower. It's not a damsel; it's a guy. Doesn't want to get married. Wants to sing instead. Dad's like, no, we're not doing that. We're not. You're gonna get married.
I just want to.
I'm gonna have you marry this lady. We're gonna acquire her lands. We're gonna get really rich.
She has huge tracts of land.
That we're going to own once you marry her. It's a power grab, essentially. You know, typical European fashion.
Right.
And Sir Lancelot's trying to save the princess.
Save the princess.
Yeah, and he ends up killing literally anybody and everybody.
Innocent.
Anybody in his way is just like, oh, I'm sorry. He's like, oh my god, you killed all these like innocent people.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm sorry, I just get like, you know,
I get riled
up and I just get all into it and just starts killing people like almost
left
begins
and right.
again.
Like,
He nearly just starts again just for no reason. Like,
now let's not argue about who killed who.
and what, you know, it's not so much like I don't feel like I've lost a son.
Yeah.
It's more like I've just gained a daughter.
Yeah. Everybody goes,
So since your father's dead,
yeah.
I guess I'm like your father now. And if I have you marry somebody else,
Yeah.
it's like we all collectively come out with something here, in spite of the tragedy. You know,
because when
doing a lot of mental gymnastics just to make it like.
Because when the king's son tries to escape, he cuts the rope and it goes. Whee!
He just falls.
And it's just like, well, I guess he died.
I guess he died.
But he didn't.
He didn't die. Yeah.
So. But anyway, this is the book that I'm going to show it first to the audience.
Very nice looking book.
It's a very nice looking book, and I haven't read it yet.
It's called La Mort d'Arthur.
Have you read this one yet?
It's literally called The Death of Arthur. So
Yeah, it
probably.
is. So, yeah. I mean,
I don't think I've read like the actual physical book, but like I've seen so many things and learned so many things already.
Right.
You know what? Maybe
But it's
reading a book would do me some good.
But it's a nice book.
It's
though.
really
like,
it's a nice damn.
physically.
This is really looking nice, pretty looking.
That's
Look
what
how
I'm
pretty this
saying.
shit is. Like it's fucking gold.
Yeah, yeah.
You know.
So like, yeah, for the audience, this is the front.
Yeah.
This is the side here. I always love the side. The spines of the book.
I'm gonna
Back is with there.
I'm gonna carry it around like with
and
me
it's
like a Bible.
Gold. Yeah. Well, that's like the gold lining.
I'm
on
gonna
the side.
find those like Catholic monk robe with like the rope.
Yeah. Right.
And I'm just gonna carry that book around.
you gotta be like the.
I'll find like some sandals.
No, you gotta be like the.
I'll get like the opening bald spot.
No, the guys in the movie they just go, "Hey yo, Washi."
Oh yeah, just do that. Well that's with a wooden block.
That's true, but I mean,
we respect our Bibles with Catholics, all right?
well, I thought you meant like this book, the Arthur book.
I was gonna treat it like my Bible.
Okay, but anyway, so yeah, and then once they, let's see, after that, I think it's like he makes some like daring escape, daring, and then they meet the knights who say, "Me, no more, please, no, you must bring us
a shrubbery."
Oh,
shrubbery.
Knights of Neo, we'll do whatever you want.
Yeah, because I'm not about to fight the guy with 3 heads and a huge ass body.
Yeah. Well, no, those are like the really tall people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
he has 3 heads.
No, that was the giant.
That was the Knights of Me.
No.
Yeah.
No.
You sure they didn't have the fucking?
Yeah.
I could have sworn
it was
the
guy. Really. Well, no, that was the giant that they saw earlier, and they were arguing. They were bickering in between each other. It was the guy who boldly ran away.
Like it's been a minute since
Yeah. I do that all the time.
That's true. Sometimes I have to do it too.
Yeah, it's true. But so the knights who say "Nee" are a block because they want to try to get to the forest. But eventually they meet Robbo the Shrubber.
This is one of those blocks that they can't get around.
Exactly. So they actually do have to get a shrubber.
They need to find a shrubber, so they start ganging up on an old lady, saying "me" to her, as you do,
And he
so
goes-
you can get a shrubbery. And that's when they meet the shrubber.
It just goes no. It's knee. No. Knee. That's it. Knee. And it's just like, and then some guy comes up and he's like, "Oh, what dark days are these when old women will be saying knee to them?"
Yeah.
"Oh, I am Roger the Shrubber. I
I'm
arrange and collect shrubberies." "Oh, knee."
No. We need this one.
And then they give the shrubbery to the knights who say knee, and
They're like, we are no longer the
knights who say knee, knee. We are now the knights who say uki, for tang.
Well, knights who formerly said knee.
Yeah, right? Yeah. What else would you have us do? And they're like, "You must cut down the biggest tree with a herring." A herring? That's impossible. And it's just like, "Oh, we can't do it." "Ah, don't say that word." What?
Say what
don't
word?
don't say.
Let's say,
I mean, we were just getting to it. And we're like, don't say
what
that
word
word
again? Like,
Yeah. And then,
what is it? What
what is it? Ah, he said
he
it
said
again.
it again.
Oh, no,
Oh,
I
no,
said
now
it
we're
again.
saying it.
Yeah.
Oh, no. It's like,
Uh,
all right, I guess we're just going to
I guess we'll just go on.
move on through here.
And let's see what happens after them. Oh yeah, after the knight who say "nee," or formerly who say "nee."
Then we meet
They-
Tim, I think.
We got past Tim already.
Oh, we did.
We meet the old guy, the bridge keeper.
Oh, the bridge troll.
Yes,
That's how I remember him.
and he's pretty
much a troll
pretty much the
living
bridge
by a
troll.
bridge. Yeah.
So he is pretty much the guardian of the
As
what
for
the-
riddles,
The swamp of death.
and he's
it's
like,
literally like Dora the Explorer, man.
actually, yeah,
Straight up that guy.
like if you can't answer my riddles, you can't get past.
Yeah, it's a grumpy old troll living in
Yeah.
a
What
bridge.
is your name? What is your quest? What is your favorite color?
Blue. No, wait.
No, Blue's like, oh, well, then you can pass.
Oh yeah, the first guy is
The
just
first
like,
guy goes through because it's Lancelot.
yeah, he's just like, "Oh, I get remote."
Very well.
And he's, "Oh, that's
That's
easy."
easy, Robin.
And he's just like,
What is the capital of Syria?
and he's like, I don't know that.
that.
yeah.
Swamp of Death.
Swamp of Death.
And then what was it, Galahad?
I think it was Galahad. And
Yeah.
he's just like,
What is your favorite color?
he's like, blue. No,
No, wait.
yeah.
And then
And
we
then the
had
last
to
one
Arthur.
is just
yeah.
like Arthur. He's just like,
What?
something with like the swallow.
Yeah, something to do with the swallow. And he's just like, well, that depends. Is this like a European swallow or an African swallow? He's like,
I don't know that.
And then we send the troll into
Yeah.
the...
And he's just like,
Benemir's
how do
like,
you know so much about swallows?
Benemir's like, how do you know this? He's just like, well, the king needs to know these
Yeah.
things.
Like, naturally. That's
Naturally, a king has to know these things. As you remember, this is a joke from the beginning of the movie.
Exactly. It keeps coming back. So, yeah, after...
After the troll.
Oh, actually, somewhere in the middle of the movie, I remember there was a narrator.
Yeah.
And he's trying to talk to the audience, and he gets killed by one of the knights. No, I think it's from Lancelot, who comes in and goes, "Aha!" and then slices his neck.
Probably.
And then, because then...
Lancelot is very
rambunctious.
sword happy.
Yeah, yeah, right. And
I was going to say trigger happy, but it doesn't.
that doesn't exist yet.
Doesn't
Well,
really-
maybe
doesn't-
crossbows? Maybe.
I mean, they're not.
I don't
they
think yet.
They didn't have.
right?
They didn't have the budget for crossbows. Okay,
No,
let's be honest.
No.
Like it was definitely a thing in medieval times. It wasn't the budget.
Not in this
all right?
movie. Bow and arrows? Sure.
Absolutely.
Swords? Yeah.
Yes.
Crossbows? Oh,
No. Now you're asking.
no.
All right, let's not get crazy.
Um,
You guys already got a Trojan horse. That was
that's
tall
true.
order.
That's
That was a
very true.
that was a tall order on top of the tall order.
And
with
that
the
was
three-headed knight.
CGI.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember like the whole action sequence. So after they get through all that stuff across the Bridge of Death, I think they go, man. Then they go to the cave. Do they go to the cave after that?
Yeah, they have to fight some weird ass monster.
Yeah, the monster. So they do meet Tim then.
Because that's they met Tim.
Yeah. And then
Then they went to the-
no, I feel like we mixed it up a little bit.
I think you mixed it up.
I think I mixed it. Now there's my mistake.
Because there was the cave.
Yeah.
Because it was at the cave where they saw the
the castle of and that was the whole thing of like the killer rabbit before they entered the cave.
Yeah. Oh, was that with the rabbit?
Mm-hmm. And he's like, oh, the killer, he's right there. And he goes, it's like, it's just a rabbit.
It's a rabbit, yeah. It's
it's
a
just
man-eating, mauling
and he just goes, wow.
force of death that literally just lunges at.
And it kills
straight
half
for
the
the
crew. Yeah.
Straight for the neck.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, nope, fuck that shit. We're getting out of here.
Yeah. And then they enter the cave, and that's when like half of their crew dies because the creature just eats them all. And then the animator had a sudden heart attack, and he dies, and the creature was no more. That's how it happened.
They're like, all right, well, they're like, oh, nice, yeah. And then they get like stuck in the cave for a while, and they have to like eat some of the people to survive the winter.
Yeah, after the cave, they had to travel a long ways, and they're like, and then summer turned to winter, and they had to eat part of the crew, there was much rejoicing. Yay! And that's pretty much how their numbers are diminishing. And by the end of it, it's pretty much, who is it? Arthur, obviously, and
some of his knights.
And like maybe 2 of his knights.
Well, because a lot of them already died before that point.
Yeah. And they're trying to storm another castle, which the French took over. Yeah.
Which the French were there also.
Yeah.
The French are just everywhere.
Yeah. And they're throwing like random like boxes and chickens and cows, and they're just like, ah.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, fine. And
so,
then
this is the part where we tell you also about the other plot of like them literally going, like cops get involved. So
exactly,
there's a fourth wall break
exactly
where like Lancelot actually kills the narrator, the historian.
Yep.
So
that's what
you were
trying to reference. Yeah.
Essentially, after that, cops like are like, huh, it's killed by a sword.
Yeah. There's something going on.
Bunch of guys over there, swords.
Here's the running.
Oh yeah, here's a running. Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway.
But yeah, so essentially, as they're like mounting for like the final like big battle against like the French in this like castle, they're mounting up their siege, right? Literally like police pull up and just arrest everybody.
Yeah.
Like everybody just like gets put behind handcuffs. King Arthur gets put behind handcuffs.
Yeah.
The movie ends
like that.
Like that.
That's it. King Arthur gets arrested by police in cop cars.
As in the legend.
As was told.
Arthur. As was told in the legend of King Arthur.
Instead of chariots, it's cars.
You know?
Yeah, that's pretty much how the movie
He got sent to Alcatraz.
To Azkaban. Yeah.
To Azkaban. Well, they called it the island of Avalon, but it was honestly Alcatraz.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
You know.
It was the same thing.
Yeah, and his
it was
recovery,
an impenetrable fortress.
Him recovering in Avalon was him serving jail time.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
And them saying like he will eventually return and like save England. You know. He made bail.
After this movie, I'm not really sure.
You know.
Depends on which King Arthur you're talking about.
Well, are we talking about like historical legend King Arthur? Are we talking about Roman?
Or
King
Monty
Arthur,
Python.
Monty Python King Arthur.
Yeah.
Anime King Arthur. Multiple different anime King Arthurs. Mainly Fate King Arthur.
I was gonna say that's my.
That's
anime
my
one.
King Arthur.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the whole premise. I mean, obviously we didn't cover every little detail, but that's the main storyline. And if you've seen this and like you saw our episode title called Monty Python and Holy Grail, you know what you're expecting, and you've probably seen it already. So that's kind of it. So
it's pretty much
a lot of references, a lot of quotes, a lot of good times. I feel like
it was all good times.
It was all good times.
Yeah.
So now we go into our comments and questions and stuff like that. So
comments and questions.
Actually, yeah. Like for each other. So I want to ask you, do you have a favorite scene in the movie?
God, that's such a hard thing to decide.
I know.
It's got to be up there between like the Black Knight, Lancelot killing everybody. That's great. Like the build-up of it is.
It's like,
hilarious. I feel like those two
kills
are
all the wedding
solid.
guests.
I feel like those two, like something between those two for me, because those are the first two like really
very
tell me about Monty Python, but also like little things here and there with like the fucking the thing
the
with
coconuts.
the coconuts and like the whole fact of like old jokes coming back, like the whole thing.
Oh,
with
yeah.
with the African swallow.
Yeah.
That was just like, wow, I didn't realize this
expect
joke was
that.
with it. The Frenchman.
Yeah, right.
Just being assholes.
I thought I know general.
And just taunting them.
Yeah.
But yeah, like as far as like scenes, I don't know. It's Black Knight or Lancelot killing everybody.
Those are pretty good.
Those are great scenes.
Yeah.
What about you?
Black Knight is very, very much top of the list, and probably the witch scene for me.
The witch scene? Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think those two really stuck with me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think those are like my top ones that kind of like are the contenders. I feel like it's just I don't know something about it. It's I don't know very memorable and it's a good stupid.
Oh yeah,
it's a good kind of stupid. It's that sense of humor where it's just like what? But it doesn't need to make sense.
It doesn't need to make sense. It's just funny.
Just funny. And maybe our humor is just broken. I don't know. That could be it
I mean,
too.
I was laughing at my own jokes before anybody else was laughing at them.
Yeah, same actually.
Because I was like, look, if nobody's gonna understand my sense of humor, I gotta make myself laugh.
I understand my humor.
So, you know, either way, I come out on top.
So, you have any questions for me?
Questions, man?
Or is that gonna be yours?
No, I don't.
No?
What could I possibly have?
Or
to
do
ask?
you have anything to like talk about with like
What?
medieval King Arthur or
Nah,
No?
I don't think. I think because see, I was trying to pretend to the movie as much as I can. Because I was thinking like if you had like a skit you wanted to add to this, but I was like that's a lot.
That's
to
a
think.
lot.
That's a lot to put on somebody like on the spot. So I'm just like, no, that's not a good question.
That too, but like also like each,
You know?
each sequence is like very fitting.
Yeah, there were some nights that they didn't really talk about, like Sir Gawain,
Sure. Yeah.
Sir Percival.
Mm-hmm,
Oh, and I think that they kind of like say like, oh yeah, there's like all these other knights by the way that we
not
appearing in this film.
Yeah.
Which we see an image of him not being there.
Yeah,
He
it's
wasn't-
actually a baby face.
Well, no, he's not appearing in this
Isn't it?
film.
Wasn't there
just
a
a
baby
blank.
one?
No, there was just a. Well, I don't know if it was a big one. But
Yeah,
it was
there was a
literally
baby one.
there was literally just like a blank image because he's not appearing in this film.
I thought it was the baby face because it was not appearing.
No, he wasn't appearing in this film because there's no image of him because he's not appearing in this film. It was that.
Okay,
It's
okay,
that
okay.
kind of stupid, bro.
He's
And-
going to tell. Sorry.
Oh
Right,
yeah,
right,
yeah,
this
yeah,
point.
yeah. But like, no, just like
Yeah.
things like that. Like I don't know. I don't really got a question for you, to be honest.
About this movie, probably not. Otherwise, just like just favorite scenes and stuff like
Favorite
that.
scenes. I
Any
think,
favorite characters, maybe, or
Sir Robin was pretty funny.
yeah, Robin.
Robin was pretty funny just for
Yeah.
the fact that like he wanted to do everything while it was still easy, and then when any like sort of trouble got in his way, he was like, "Nope,
No,
I am not about to deal with
not
that." you
dealing.
know?
Yeah.
And then like his own like entourage just calls him out on it. He's like, "Yeah, you're running away, bud.
Yep.
Bravely run
Bravely
away."
run away.
This is the legend of Sir Robin who
Yep.
bravely runs away. Yep.
That's true. That's true.
So yeah.
I always love King Arthur and how he deals with things.
Bedivere also,
No, that's true. Okay.
just for like the way he speaks.
Ew.
Like he knows everything, but is also stupid.
He's so confident in his stupidity.
It's like I want to say it's like I didn't want to say high intelligence, low wisdom. I feel like it's more the other way around. I don't
yeah,
know.
I think it's the other way around.
Might be the other way around.
Yeah,
But at the same time, though, he did have those skills, and he was right.
What
I don't
can we
know.
say? He probably I was gonna say he probably read it somewhere, and then misinterpreted it, and then it's just like, oh, this is how you can tell this is a witch.
Something like that.
But the thing is, he's really good pals with Arthur, and he sticks through the whole thing. Really, he's the first to be recruited, and the last to be with
King Arthur, yeah.
So I mean, like, he's a good companion,
Mhm.
despite his mental state of like.
Well, you know,
He's confident. He's confident.
He has creative solutions.
Yeah, that's true.
You know?
Yeah.
He solves the problem.
Yeah.
He found the witch.
He found the witch.
He proved
and,
the witch.
And the witch was like, "Oh, yeah, you're right. Actually,
He proved I'm a
prove me
witch.
wrong." Yeah. I think besides that, I don't really think of anything else for Monty Python, Holy
Nah.
Grail.
I think we're good.
I think it was a good episode where it was like, yeah, it's a good time. It's funny, and a lot of good quotes that you can use in everyday life.
Oh, God. Yeah. Literally every day.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Literally every day.
It's just a weird movie, so I don't know. Just check it out if you haven't seen it, and if you haven't seen it, what are you doing? Come on,
Yeah.
really.
If you had to
Go
rate
watch
it,
it.
what would you rate it?
Oh, we're going to rate it now?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're at that point. Yeah.
1 out of 10?
Yeah.
I would give it a solid 9.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes, I love this movie so much.
I would give it I give it an 8, a fair 8.
Yeah, that's pretty
Fair
good.
8, absolutely, yeah.
I
'cause,
think it's very memorable.
Oh yeah, like I'll definitely have this movie on just like in the background, like
Mhm.
enjoying myself. Anything to like, literally just like a comfort film, just like it's just funny.
Yeah.
I don't need to think. I just get to shut everything off and not worry about anything stressful.
Right. It's just that dumb humor that you're just like.
It's literal
movie.
dumb humor that genuinely crosses my mind, like shit that I would think about.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty solid. Yeah.
So it's a very solid for me. Yeah.
Pretty much that with me too. The whole thing of like, because I used to have this on in the background when I was like at my old apartment where I'd be like,
Mhm.
doing homework or like cleaning up or whatever. It's just like it's in the background, and because there's so many like, each scene has like its own memorable lines and stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, put it on the background, whatever, and I can still watch it and enjoy it. So, it's just funny.
Yeah.
And
'Cause
I
I'm
always love parodies
'cause
of fantasy
Because
movies.
I'm trying to think, like, because Shrek had a lot of good stuff.
Oh,
That's-
yeah.
was like that too.
Oh yeah.
But like, also Shrek was also very much ahead of its time. I think Monty
Yeah.
Python
was its unique.
was its
thing.
own unique thing.
Yeah, very niche at the time.
Yeah, very
like
niche.
like Monty Python in general.
It actually might have been also pretty ahead of its time too, just for the fact that it was like so. I don't know. I don't think it really.
Just the humor of it, I feel. Like.
Yeah, I think the humor of it goes over like a lot of people,
'Cause, like-
especially like a lot of Americans at the time. I feel.
Mm-hmm,
I feel like even now, like it kind of goes over a lot of people's heads, but like I think now it's a little bit more easier to like accept and like get into, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know, just what I think at the very least. But yeah.
I think that's good enough. What do you think?
I'm
Monty
satisfied.
Python, Holy Grail, dried up.
Very dry.
I
To
great
the
film.
bone.
Check it out, and that's that.
Yeah.
So, do you want to tell the audiences where they can find us?
There is a place called Spotify,
And Toby's
and Toby's on my
way.
lap right now, but you know
he's
been doing
being
that all.
stubborn.
Been doing
What
that
else?
all.
Sorry, what?
Spotify's one, Anchor's another, Apple Podcasts. What was the other one that I
Did you say
forget?
Castbox?
Castbox, no, I
No?
did not say
Okay.
Castbox.
And
YouTube now.
yeah,
Isn't
Nice.
that something?
that's craziness. Yep. There you go. Yeah. So, check us
that's
out.
some of the places you can check us out right there.
Toby says
More
check
pink
check
and
us
dried
out.
stuff. Plenty of stuff on the podcasting ones because
Mhm.
that's kind of how we started.
Yeah, that's where we started.
Literally where we
pretty much.
started.
In August, we're going to be nearing our 2-year anniversary. Can you believe that? That's next month. 2 years of this show, just us talking about movies and D&D.
2 years. Jesus
Ridiculous.
Christ, that is crazy.
That's crazy.
We're in such different places in our lives.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Wow.
So we'll do something special. Maybe.
Don't get too excited. No.
I was gonna say, or it just might be another regular episode. And be
It might
like,
be, yeah.
You guys know us already. We're just like, we have work, we have life.
We still got to be a part of society,
Yeah.
which is regrettable.
Yeah. I know. But yeah, so other than that, check us out. Check our show out. It would be awesome. And that's it, I think. I feel like. Stay tuned for the next episode of
And
Drink
if
and
you
Drive.
went down with that, then I got 2 words for you.
1.
Goodbye.
Nope.
That's it.
That's it.